Whether you are new to apparel printing and wanting to streamline your operation, or you're just getting started, whatever it is, this video is going to be for you. What's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about how to actually get your t-shirt business, t-shirt transfer business, whatever it is, started and how to start generating those profits. Whether you are new to apparel decorating or looking to turn your hobby into a full-time gig or just streamline your operations in your t-shirt business, this video is going to be for you, so stay tuned and let's get started. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, leave the video a like to help the YouTube algorithm, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this. Alright, so the process will probably start with a customer inquiry, right? They will reach out to you maybe on Facebook, they'll text you, email, whatever it is, they'll somehow get in contact with you and say, I need 45 t-shirts with a white front print. I need 45 t-shirts for my mini golf event. Now, with something like that, you might be getting really excited. You got a customer inquiry, 45 t-shirts, that's a pretty decent number, but where do you start? First things first, you're probably going to want to just confirm that quantity. That's going to be a big thing, and you just want to make sure that 45 t-shirts is not just like a guesstimate. That is a solid number. And if it is solid, is that all adult shirts? Are there going to be any youth shirts? Are there going to be any toddler shirts? These are all things that you need to know to be better prepared to take the order, so make sure that you get these questions out. Another major, probably one of the most important things, is going to be the deadline. So make sure that you ask first and foremost, probably should be one of your first questions that you ask in response to the customer inquiry, and that is, when do you need them by? So you can plan accordingly. If you can't take the job because you can't get X, Y, or Z in time, then that's something that you want to make sure that you let your customer know as soon as possible, so you're not wasting not only their time, but also your time. And then lastly, another thing that you're going to want to make sure that you know about and you have figured before you actually send the quote over is going to be the artwork. Does your customer have an artwork file? Is the artwork file good quality? Can you use it, or are you going to have to make any modifications to it? Speaking on modifications, does the customer need any modifications? Do they want to add 2024? Do they want to add their logo up at the top? Whatever it is, all of these things are things that you should ask before ever even sending over a price, sending over a quote for the t-shirts. Now, setting expectations, something that we have always done in our business. I mean, I should probably mention that, who the heck am I and why am I talking about this? So my name is Alex. If you guys are new here and you haven't watched any videos on the channel before, I own a DTF transfer and screen printing business in Houston, Texas. We've been in business since about 2020 and got started in the pandemic. We started out in our garage and have since moved out to our production facility in Houston, where we are currently operating the business. So getting back to setting expectations though, what we have done and has always worked for us is requiring full payment upfront. So the work won't even commence until we get the full payment required for the order from the customer. There are a number of different other ways to do this, and it kind of really depends on who your customer is. So if you're working with like a large organization like the government or a school, they're probably going to want net 30 terms. So that means that you basically, they'll give you a purchase order, and then you use that purchase order to buy the blanks and produce the order, and then after you deliver the order, they'll have 30 days to pay the invoice. So if you're dealing with a big organization like a school or a government, they're probably going to want those kind of terms. But basically for anybody else, like anyone, unless you are like, I mean, I really wouldn't even give an exception. For anybody else that is not a government or a school, I would require full payment up front, especially if it's some of the first time that you're working with them. Maybe that's something that you can consider down the road after you've done a couple of orders with this client and you have some trust built up. But until then, I think it's just safe to expect full payment up front and to tell your customer that accordingly. So you want to make sure that their expectations are set accordingly and they understand your terms. Okay, now, so getting back to the actual order. So now you have all of these questions answered, you asked all of the right questions and you have answers for them back. Now you can actually start building out the quote. So what turned into, I need 45 t-shirts for my mini golf, is now I need 12 youth shirts, and then I need, however many is that, 33 adult shirts. So now you need to separate the order between youth and adult. Again, based on the pricing, these t-shirts for youth and adult shirts are fairly like small in difference. There's not much, maybe $1 max. So if you actually want to separate them based on price, that's up to you. That's something that you can do. But another thing that I want to make sure I cover is, so if you are creating the design for your client, make sure you're charging for that. Design services are not free, and they should be included with your order as a separate line item. So if you are having to do any modifications to the design creation, whatever it is, that's something that you should be charging for as a t-shirt business owner, operator, whatever you want to call it. Next, hopefully you have the locations of the print figured out with the client. Do they want a left chest? Do they want full chest, full back? Do they want a sleeve? Whatever it is, those are all things that you need to make sure that are properly figured out and communicated between you and the client before sending that quote over, because these are extra locations are extra money. So you can't just like add on a sleeve print and expect the price of the quote to be the same. That price is going to increase. So just make sure that you have all of those figured out and that you have everything clearly communicated with the client on your quote. Now, if your client did come to you with that request, I need 45 t-shirts for my mini golf event, they might not know too much about t-shirts. So that is kind of on you now to make a recommendation to them. And you just want to, as you like send out more quotes over time, you'll kind of get a feel for what type of client you're dealing with. So you just want to have, I would probably say, good, better, and best t-shirts. Those are a common way to price offerings and to show offerings to clients who don't know much about the actual product offerings and selection that is in front of them. So that's what we have done. And what we do is, for those budget-minded clients who just want like the t-shirt for their event and they probably won't even wear it again, something like that, we go with the Gildan 5000. That's our budget t-shirt. It's available from basically every t-shirt supplier, and costs can range from like $285 to even lower, maybe like $229, $239, depending on what color and where you're getting it from, however many you're getting, that kind of a thing. So recommending a blank t-shirt, if the client doesn't tell you, I want this specific t-shirt, odds are they aren't very familiar with blank t-shirts. So that is something that you can use your expertise on to make a recommendation to the client. Again, most clients don't know specific brands, so they might even come to you being like, I want a Nike Polo, and that is something that you could accommodate through ordering on Sanmar, something like that. Or if they just say like, I want a nice t-shirt, well, nice is a pretty, that's a, what is the word? That's a vague term, an ambiguous term. So what is nice to someone might not be nice to the other person. And that's something that, again, you're just gonna have to lean on your expertise to make a good recommendation to your client. And you can go off that good, better, and best system. Good for budget, better being like standard, and best being premium, another way to think of it. However you want to name, label it, and market it to your customers. Now, something else that is very important, and for me, especially when I was just getting started in my business, was incredibly important. It was such a headache for me. Like I said, I got started in the pandemic, and during the pandemic, the t-shirt suppliers were super hard to keep supply of the t-shirts, right? Everybody was going through shortages, and t-shirt suppliers were not immune. So trying to find every color t-shirt in every different size at one warehouse was nearly impossible, even for like most common t-shirts like the Gildan 5000, soft style, whatever it is. All of these t-shirts were hard to come by. And thankfully things have changed a lot. They've gotten so much better, basically back to how they were before the pandemic. So you guys who are watching this video now might not have to deal with those same supply constraints, but it's just something that you want to keep in mind. After you do have like all of the sizes figured out and the t-shirt, the colors, everything figured out with the client, just like hop over to your supplier's website, make sure that they have all of them in stock, because the last thing you want to do is take money from your customer, but then your supplier doesn't have that garment in stock. So then you got to run back to the customer, tell them if they want to substitute. It's a whole thing. So just do yourself the favor and just check with your supplier, see if they have all of the garments, the colors, the sizes in stock for what you need. Now, what are you going to do if your client says they don't know what sizes they want? They're doing them for their mini golf tournament. They've never had one of these before. It's the first time they're doing something like this. So they ask you, what sizes should I get? I have just a big group of people coming. What do I do? So a good kind of rule is you do the 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 rule. So it goes 1 small, 2 medium, 3 large, 2 XL, 1 2XL. So that is a good rule of thumb, and you can kind of use that going forward up and down your sizes to kind of properly gauge and get an estimate of what sizes you should do. If you're just doing like a vague group of people and you don't know and your client doesn't know, this can be a decent way to get kind of an estimate. It's just an estimate, right? So take that with a grain of salt, use caution, but it can be something nice to like just get the ball rolling, get it started, you know what I mean? All right, so we are getting close to being able to send our customer the quote, but a couple more things that we should do first. Number one, probably being to calculate our costs, right? So we need to figure out how much it's going to cost us to make the order, and then we can figure out the profit that we want to make, and then finally we'll get the price that we charge the client, right? So a good way to do this is to just take the cost of the t-shirt and then make sure if you're not over like whatever the shipping threshold is on your supplier, that you include the cost of shipping, because that can be a substantial amount. So make sure that you calculate your blank cost plus the cost of shipping if applicable, and then figure out the way you're going to print it. So are you going to order DTF transfers from someone like this? Are you going to make DTF transfers? Are you going to screen print it? Are you going to order screen print transfers from someone like us? Whatever it is, figure out how much your cost is going to be per print, combine the two, and then you'll have your actual cost per garment, per unit, whatever you want to call it. And for this example, let's just say $750. So at $750, that includes the cost of the blank t-shirt plus the cost of the transfer, and you should maybe even include like a press fee, the cost and for the time that it takes to actually heat press the transfer onto your t-shirt, print the t-shirt, whatever it is. So all in all, $750, let's say in our example. And then a good rule of thumb is, this is just a rule of thumb. You probably want to go ahead and compare the price that you get to some local print shops in your area. Maybe if you even know the price that your customer had previously paid, if that's applicable at all. But just use that as like a comparison. But a good point of reference is to just like double your cost. So if your cost is $750, the cost of the printed custom t-shirt would be $15 to your client. And that is, again, all dependent. So if they're only ordering 12 t-shirts, that price probably should be a lot higher. If they're ordering 250 t-shirts, that price should probably be a lot lower. Not many clients are going to pay $15 for however many color t-shirt for like a one location, 250 units. That's a pretty high price. So just everything is relative. Everything is unique to the situation, unique to you, unique to your location, the people around you, your competitors, everything. It's all very relative and something that you're just going to have to figure out for yourself, unfortunately. You're going to have to play with it. Is this client someone who is really cost conscious? They like to really squeeze every penny for what they get. Well, that person probably not someone you want to test out a pricing increase on. But again, these are all things that you're going to figure out over time. You're going to get a feel for each of the different customers that come through your door. Are they someone who doesn't even know the price of a gallon of milk, or are they someone who is really cost conscious and is counting every penny? Those are all things that you're going to have to figure out, and you can kind of use that to help gauge how much profit you want to make on each t-shirt. But that's kind of a good rule of thumb. But all right, guys, we are in the final stretch now. So we have our cost. We have our what should be the retail price to the customer. Now, to finish everything off for this quote, we should just give the customer a proof. So if we are creating the design, let's go ahead and get that design created, put it on a t-shirt, and then send that customer an image of the design on the t-shirt, a proof, if you will. So that just gives the customer a really good idea of what exactly they're ordering. It kind of like establishes like a contract, right? So this is what I'm providing you. I'm going to be giving you a white left chest logo and a white full back, whatever it is. And the customer then can approve that. So once you have the approval, hopefully in writing, just try and do your best to get it in writing, cover your ass type of thing, get the approval in writing. Then at that point, you're probably good to go. So you have your proof, you have the cost, you can send that over to the customer. Once the proof gets approved, once the quote gets approved, well then guys, it's officially time. You've gotten the order, you've gotten the sale, it's time to start making the t-shirts and actually getting on to the work, right? So this has just been like the stuff that leads up to the work. Now the real work begins and you gotta make those t-shirts. If you guys are new and you're just getting started, I have so many different videos on my channel on where to buy your blank t-shirts. So if you don't know where to get your blank t-shirts, I'll just SNS Activewear, get it from them. They accept like no resale, whatever, buy from SNS. But if you want more details, check out those videos. I'll put a link up in the corner. I just want to make sure that I'm checking my notes. If you do need any DTF transfers, screen print transfers, we are the guys for you. We have a same-day turnaround time on DTF transfers. So if you place your order before 4:30, it's going to get shipped out the same day. And then for our screen print transfers, that's 1 to 2 days. So that's our turnaround time for those products. But again, just make sure that when you're doing your research that you're pricing in the price of the print plus a little bit extra for your profit. Making sure that when you actually are printing the garments, that one, you did your press print, and then two, that you're just inspecting each print as you're going by. So you don't, if you do run into any issues, you can stop right there. You're not noticing the issue 15 shirts down in the run. You want to just make sure that you're kind of doing a good inspection of each print as you're doing them so that you can catch errors before they build up. In terms of packaging, how you get your t-shirts from SNS, basically like by groups of 10, and then just fold it over by each other. That's a good way to package them. If your customer is interested in paying for like bagging fees, that you can do it that way. Group them by size, also something helpful to do. But again, you're packaging t-shirts at the end of the day. It's not like you're packaging jewelry or iPhones or iPads, whatever it is. But your packaging does matter, and the look of it also does matter. A lot of print shops won't use the boxes that they get from SNS. They'll put them in new boxes. Probably not the best thing to do for the environment, but man, they sure look good. So it's all going to be something that you have to figure out how you want your brand to look, how you want your brand to be perceived, and how you want the unboxing experience to be for your customer on the other end. Another thing that you can do is just include some freebies. So while you have the press up, if you happen to have like a sweatshirt and they ordered t-shirts, throw in a sweatshirt. Maybe they'll like it so much they'll place an order for sweatshirts. Or maybe like a free koozie, a free hat, whatever it is. You have the screen up, you have the transfers ordered. You can, how much extra work would it be to like press a DTF transfer on a hat? You know what I mean? So stuff like that can really make or break your experience, and it can just lead to more revenue down the way because your customer, man, that hat that I got from Alex was awesome. I think I want some more. I want everyone else on my team to have a hat, so they place an order for hats. Stuff like that can really help. But all right, guys, that's kind of like the process that we have done in our business for the past 4 years. Let me know how your business compares down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you. As I have said before, if you guys are longtime watchers of this channel, I'm trying to build this into like a heat transfer t-shirt business community. So let me know down below in the comments any tips, any tricks, anything that I missed in this process so that we can all learn from the information and learn and grow together, right? So that's all for this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below. Help out the YouTube algorithm, show this video to more people. Subscribe to the channel if you are interested and you gain some value from this video. I post videos like this all the time, so make sure you check out the backlog of content. And with that, guys, I'm gonna leave you here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.